Hello friends, having just gotten back from Texas and then watching the issues that are occurring currently in Florida, I started thinking about flooding in my home and looking at my homeowner's policy. One of the statistics out of Houston was that 80% of the homes that were flooded did not have flood insurance. Even though they may have not been on a floodplain, they didn't have any flood insurance whatsoever, and then I think most people, including myself, would think that homeowner's insurance would cover flooding like that, but that's not the case. If you are a homeowner, or even a rental, you're renting an apartment, or let's say you're renting a home, and you've got renter's insurance, you want to look to make sure that any kind of a flood will be covered, will cover your belongings from water damage. And in my particular policy that I looked at, if I have, I'm trying to make this real clear because it was very difficult for me to read it, but there are so many exclusions. If my neighbor's sewer backed up and my neighbor's sewage water came onto my property, my homeowners wouldn't cover. Now, that doesn't mean I could not sue my neighbors, I guess, and make a claim on their homeowners. That's not a good way to make friends. But my point is, the homeowners would not cover. In other words, if the water originates off your property and then comes onto your property, like you live at the foot of a mountain here in Phoenix, the water comes down off the mountain and then comes into your home or floods your property, or you end up with, a lot of insurance carriers use this, blowing rain. In other words, the rain's not just directly over your house, but it's blowing sideways and it floods your property. There's no coverage. There's coverage if you have a pipe break in the wall and it breaks and floods your living room or your bathroom or something. There's coverage in that, or somebody clogs up one of your toilets, unless of course the insurance company decides to argue that it was lack of maintenance that caused it, and that's another exclusion. So I started looking into the National Flood Insurance Program, which is managed by FEMA, and I don't live in a floodplain, but I've lived through two 100-year floods back in the late 70s that were supposed to happen every 100 years, and they happened 2 years in a row. And I know what happened then. And I've actually had a flood here too, based upon some torrential rain we had, I think, about 5 years ago. And I started looking at it, and it would run me $250 a year to have flood insurance that would cover all these exclusions in my homeowner's policy. So really the point I'm trying to make is, look at your homeowner's policy if you own a home, look at your renter's policy if you're renting and you have renter's insurance, and look at the exclusions relative to flood insurance and your belongings. Now, the wind comes over here and rips off the roof, that's covered. Wind damage is always, well, not always, but generally speaking is always covered. But the rain aftermath, the blowing rain, would not cover the damage done to the interior of your home or your personal belongings. So my point is, again, pull your homeowner's policy out, look at the exclusions, and if there are a lot of exclusions like most homeowners policies, spring for the extra couple $100 a year, get the flood insurance that will cover all those things that aren't covered, so that you don't end up out of pocket like 80% of the people in Houston are going to have to do to rebuild their homes and replace their personal belongings. Thank you.
This posted video is in no way specific legal advice on any subject. It is intended to provide general information for the public. If you need specific legal advice, call Chuck at 480-545-0700.
If you have any questions or ideas for these video topics, please email me at lawyer@chuckfranklin.com. That's lawyer@chuckfranklin.com, and I'll consider your topic, and maybe you'll see yourself on my video channel. Thank you.